Yeah.
Yeah.
Closing words.
You're
done.
Closing words.
You're outie.
Oh, are you leaving us again for this one?
Why
Yeah.
not Nahaz?
All right.
It's
okay.
Are you busy?
Huh?
What
It
are you
doesn't
doing?
matter.
What are you doing right now?
What do you mean?
You want to hang out?
No, I got kicked off the couch. It's like 3 people max.
No, dude, but
yeah,
we're
but
alternate.
we
Yeah.
cycle.
No, it's okay. You guys will be just fine.
All right.
How dare you?
What?
Later, dude.
How
You're
dare
lazy.
you?
So lazy.
How dare you? Seriously, though. Have fun, guys. Enjoy the game.
Okay. Is this another lane where Wraith King's gonna get bopped? We've seen Wraith King versus Tide plus like a decent damage position for hero.
Yeah, gush.
Just get gushed and then clicked.
Yeah, consistently that's always what it is. It's like Tide +1. Just wrecking.
And like Wraith King's like, oh, my skeletons don't do anything against Tide, so I should go more points in Wraithfire Blast. Like.
And it's also going to be like Inkswell Stroke of Fate too.
It's been like a theme of these qualifiers.
Yeah. If Wraith King doesn't get punished, he looks amazing. But if toss back, all right, there's the gush already. Punch him, and now they've already got the Grimstroke here to secure the room. Nice. They positioned this so nicely. 430. Wait, what the hell are you doing here?
I think they got Innocence.
He does have the chucks. Oh yeah.
Does he? Good.
Nice.
So the Grimstroke went down for the bounty. Tiny chased up after the A, tossed him back again, so they got another cycle.
No, he's got the set, but he's got the swords.
Yeah,
he didn't equip the weapons from it.
Yeah, no, he just wanted the mask.
The census. All right. Hey, you know what? That's pretty cool.
Maybe he's too worried about the animation, like
Maybe
messing him up or something.
I don't know. Maybe because these are gifted from somebody. Who knows? Yeah, that's true. Maybe it's a comfort thing as well. I didn't realize you could do this with mid-wave. So it's begun. 430 has revealed the final step of the meta. You can drag mid-wave at level 1.
If you're against the Razor.
I knew somebody was going to do that. Oh my god, I hate creep cutting. Anyway,
maybe they just need to make creeps smarter. Creeps are just too dumb. They're so dumb.
NA creeps.
Creeps are just like, oh yeah, it's a enemy hero.
NA creep wave.
Yeah. Creeps are just too dumb. Also, I'm sorry about missing that first blood, but that was just too weird. I had to show that on camera. There's
cool.
no way.
I told you what happened. It wasn't that interesting.
He just got run down, right? Did Gush come off cooldown and then they just killed him?
The Grimstroke disengaged to go get the bounty rune, and Tiny kept chasing, tossed him back to the Tide, and they got a second round of abilities.
Okay.
Is what happened. So
this James guy, we were talking about.
Yeah.
You were talking about it in the previous game, Nahaz. Like, he's been playing really well.
Yeah,
I don't even know the first thing about him. What team was he on before this? Does anyone have any intel?
I did read about that, and I've completely forgotten. I think I'll remember. I'll probably remember it as the game goes on. But that's one of the most fun things about these tournaments to me is that there's always at least one player that you don't really value coming in that really distinguishes himself, and that's relevant. Even if these guys don't make TI, this is going to be a player that's going to get looks from a lot of organizations.
You watch though. I bet he's like top 50 on the leaderboard or something.
Probably is.
Like, more than likely. Okay, interesting that they do. So they value the Razor in lane versus the Ember more than the Morphling. It does seem to be working better so far, for sure. And Morphling is getting good farm bottom. So less pressure on the Omni Knight, more pressure on the Ember. But we talked about this yesterday when Faith Beyond was playing Omni Knight. How many big plays can you actually make on this hero? Rubik with the double damage, though.
that's crazy strong. I mean, for level 2, he does, what, 61 damage here?
Yeah.
But he does have quite a few stats. He went Circlet, Mantle, and Iron Branch. He's got to get into Null Talisman, I guess.
No value.
It's not very common.
Oh, James came forward, but needs to be careful. Gets stunned up. I don't know if this Cold Feet is going to proc, but it's still a ton of damage.
I like that NeverEnd's just running at them, though, with the Wraith King. He got an earlier crit on the Tide Hunter, too, just because he was slapping him, and all of a sudden the lane looked, like, semi-contestable. Like, you can't just passive farm on Wraith King. It's the issue that he runs into.
I don't think you can let these fights start with both of you being on full HP, right? I think you need to make sure that the Tide or the Tiny is starting on
Just a little
lower
bit low.
health. Yeah.
Chilling Touch helps a lot with that, actually. 'Cause it's actually not that expensive mana-wise. Like, use it once, and by the time you can throw it again, you're almost equal in mana again. So throw it out, keep them a little bit low. Tiny is not going to be as comfortable running aggressive.
Yeah, everyone's actually getting a lot of CS up here.
Wow, the Ember is pretty sad, but
yeah.
I guess you have to expect that laning against Razor.
Yeah. It would be easier if he was on the Radiant side. You can like disjoint by sliding this camp, but It's a bit. You saw him try to do it over here, but it's a little bit far away to like run over there consistently. Oh no, Wraith King, not again.
Oh,
We've seen this story before.
I'm telling you. By the way, he has been playing professionally since 2014, but only with developmental clubs. Has bounced around with VG Gaming Potential, a couple of the FTD squads. So this is his first opportunity with a squad of this kind of pedigree, and he is really delivering.
Yeah, he's looked so good this qualifier. Morphling getting pressured a little bit. I like the double nuke lane against the Morphling. Just keep him honest. Make sure that he can't stay morphed all the way down, or at least force him to ferry a little bit of regen if he wants to.
Yeah, it's relevant as the game goes on too. You can't just let Morph roam around farming camps, farming lanes on full agi. You got to have that some kind of nuke threat, if only just to pressure him and lower his efficiency a little bit.
Yeah, if you can spend the whole game just sitting on max agi, he farms so quickly. Ember, you know, shoves the lane a little bit, comes in, soaks the experience, goes and farms the medium camp. 430 knows what he's doing here, and Ember's certainly a catch-up hero. So, 5-minute bounce runes. XinQ does actually manage to grab this one over on the bottom side. Faith Bian going to take some damage, maybe another adaptive strike. Do they have a Stroke of Fate soon? Not quite. Waveform forward, few more hits. He does have the heal coming off cooldown soon. Oh, Stroke of Fate.
Ooh,
that was very close.
One more Wraith Band, that's a kill. Maybe.
Oh, is Tiny going to try and intercept him to the shrine? Look at this. James is like... He knows that
what
they're coming for the shrine. Is it...
no, not quite. Oh.
I thought he had that one.
XinQ's got a Fairy Fire as well. Man, that is stone cold from XinQ. You have a Fairy Fire, and you're like, nah.
Go mid. Okay.
Yeah. Okay, 430 couldn't get away from that one. And the salve to just stay healthy under the tower.
Well, the Razor pick working out, but you gotta wonder. Again, it's these EHOME picks. They end up with 3 melee cores against the Razor.
Oh, left back. Big gank. AA also coming. XM looking pretty dead. He's got stick charges. Is he actually living? James coming in with the avalanche, catching everybody.
No,
Once
James.
Again, looking for XinQ. James, I think he's okay.
I just really wanted him to get that kill again, because it was like,
oh,
round 2, Rubik, let's do it.
Yeah.
Fight.
But his damage just wasn't quite high enough.
Well, it's still, he's able to go into 3 enemy heroes and disrupt the kill on his mid.
Save his Razor.
It's a huge
That was
play.
big. And a lot of TPs mid, too, for them. So many Fairy Fires in this game, actually. A is running out, too, as well. This guy's liking the items.
Yeah, the dire side has a lot of Fairy Fires. Interesting. Okay, Rubik rotating top now. But why?
Yeah, it's hard to
Why
believe that you're going to get any real pressure on this tide.
Yeah, why are you here? Maybe they just want to help their Wraith King. That's the issue.
At the end of the day,
yeah. It's got one
Rubik
charges.
Tiny, round 3.
There's a lot of Wraith King skeletons. They're big, they're red, they're angry. Grimstroke comes through, makes good use of them to get a little bit extra damage on the Stroke of Fate, and looks like they will potentially get the turnaround. One more Anchor Smash, another stun, looking for the Grimstroke. He does have 10 stick charges, pops them, but will that be enough? Cold Feet doesn't quite catch, and now another Gush onto Innocence. James coming forward, one more Avalanche. Do they even need the toss? They do not.
Okay. Not bad. And it's actually kind of good for CDEC that Wraith King didn't die there. Because now he's completely out of health. He's going to have to run back. The top shrine got used in that last fight mid.
Oh,
so he's actually just zoned out of lane now. The only thing holding back Tide here is his lack of mana. Okay, they bring a salve. That's a huge play for A to recognize that.
Yeah,
He would have had to jungle or something otherwise.
Yeah, meanwhile, all that action,
for sure.
all that action top. Wraith King had been tops on the board on CS, and the other 2 Radiant cores have now caught up.
It's the power of Razor, honestly. Like, you force your opponent to leave the lane because you've got Plasma, or you've got Static Link, and then you just max out Unstable Current, and you just easily push waves. And you don't need mana for it, too. It's one of the nicest things about Razor. You just have to stay in the lane, and the lane gets pushed. No sentries, nothing.
XM knows where 430 is going to next, so get the free farm in the medium camp, and then also... Did 430? He didn't even put down another remnant before he TP'd.
That's a really nice play. So much of Ember's mid-game acceleration is being limited by that anticipation of his movements.
Yeah, that's good.
Yeah, that's not normally something that would happen to Ember Spirit, right? Normally your map uptime is like 100%, but now XM just rotates top. This man is everywhere. CDC, the way that they play for the lanes, and then they use that little advantage so nicely. Morphling threatened, but once you get to the 3 points in a tribute shift,
You know, he's not probably going to give up a kill in this lane, but he's also just been parked in the shadow of his own tower. Often what you see is with these favorable lanes, Morphling tends to be able to go full agi and just get free tower damage. And EHOME have not allowed that, at least.
yeah. And they come down here and look for the trade.
Yeah, I like this a lot.
So this is the natural move for the Wraith King. Your lane gets completely invaded. They want your tower. You should just come down here. Faith Beyond might TP top to go and take over this, though CDC don't have the heroes to try for the tier 2, I don't think. They will probably run down the lane a little bit just to pressure, but...
And the tier 1 tower swap that we see so often in the safe lanes, and you know, two teams may just trade jungles here for a while.
Looks like a pretty good game for Razor at this point, though. There's outside of like Sleight of Chain or Assyrian Chains, there's not that many disables that he has to worry about. So as long as he keeps his movement speed up, he'll be pretty strong. He's actually rushing. He's got a crown,
Yeah.
but it looks like he's going BKB instead.
Do you
Wow.
like
Wow.
straight BKB for XM?
I think it's okay because Razor just does so much damage naturally that he can basically look where he's farming right now. He's like in the enemy jungle. If he just keeps BKB and his supports play around him, they could easily turn kills. Because heroes like, I mean, obviously Ember is going to be a really tough kill, but Wraith King, Omni Knight, basically all 4 heroes other than Ember Spirit, he can easily run down and pressure with a BKB. It's actually really scary
Yeah.
for them to play against
And
him.
it's going to make so much space for the Morphling as well, right?
Yeah.
Razor, he's not the carry this game. He doesn't have to. He doesn't have to be a
scale.
big farmer. He doesn't have to go to the late game. He just needs to hold the game on lock for the Morphling. And I think with the BKB, he can pressure their farm way more, like what Purge is saying. You just go kill people, and if they want to stop you, they're going to have to respond with like their entire team on EHOME.
You got the health talent too. When he's on Strength Treads, he's almost got 1900 health right now as a Razor. It's insane. And he does tons of damage just by being alive. So
He doesn't even have the Ogre
Yeah.
Club yet.
The thing I
just
worry
bought it,
about
but-
is if Rubik gets a big steal and you get an Ember into a multi-man Ice Blast.
All right, Tide walks up the hill and say
Very
goodbye.
You know, the Razor can live, but the rest of his team can die.
that's true.
Yeah.
And that's what happens to Razor in too many of these fights is even if you get a good drain off, you can't get ignored.
We got Lincoln Sphere for Morphling in this game. I guess what Razor's kind of physical damage, so maybe you're going for the Lincoln shotgun, kind of a setup. Makes sense. NeverEnd still, despite a little bit of pressure, is #1 net worth. He's got his timely Midas. He's gonna have a reasonably timed Radiance, so his scaling this game is looking pretty good. And with the Heavenly Grace, he will be very survivable. But we're gonna have to see if the Heavenly Grace is as good on the Wraith King as it is on some of these other heroes.
We're also going to have to see if Ferrari can sustain the kind of farm. You know, we talk about Ember Spirit as a catch-up hero, but so far CDC have done an excellent job contesting that dire side of the map, and you can see Ember is forced over into this right side secondary jungle, splitting farm with his own support. Now, that's not generally where you're going to see Ember farming at this point in the game.
Has anyone ever told you that when you say ketchup, you say it very much like the condiment? It's like instantly what I think every time. I don't know why. Maybe it's because nobody else says ketchup, but it's like you blend the
A
word.
ketchup hero.
Ketchup. And you say
Yeah,
it, you
okay.
like blend it.
The catch-up
As
Midas.
opposed
Maybe it's
to
'cause
as opposed to a
catch-
mustard hero.
It's probably because you're not saying catch. You're saying ketchup. Catch
catch-up
versus
hero?
catch.
Okay.
I think that's why.
That's
Okay.
it.
Well,
Figured
you're
it
dead,
out.
Tide.
Yeah, this keeps working. These 3 utility heroes just running around killing the Tide. It's pretty good. 1, 2, 3. He doesn't have. So they didn't manage to establish a ward here. They got the Razor illusion for a little bit of vision, but they do not have that sort of natural. Actually, the Radiant warding is kind of interesting.
This is the same kind of pattern that we were pointing out in the previous game. I mean, they have been a little bit more aggressive.
Ooh, missed on the stroke.
Ooh. They have a little bit more
Swing and a miss.
been a little bit more aggressive, threatening the Gyre jungle with rotations, but the pattern of vision is extremely passive.
Yeah, they're kind of cool. Maybe it's just to make sure that Morphling doesn't get ganked as easily, because that's the one guy they're worried about, or something. Like, why would they need this Observer Ward in their Radiant jungle? What
That's
does,
what
what does
I'm-
that protect? You know,
Yeah, that's what I'm questioning.
like if they're farming passively, then they'll see them coming with a smoke or something. I'm not sure.
Yeah, it's a bit strange.
The other ones make perfect sense, though. It's like normal ward placements.
Sure. Sure.
Yeah, see who's approaching what lanes, where EHOME are going to be playing next. AA is up here at top. Toss in the Morphling. Waveform through, does get hit by the Ice Blast, but Innocence is gone. We have seen him have a pretty tough series. And yeah, we now got the Waveform maxed out on the Morph. Wait, is this isn't standard, right?
Some players have been doing this.
Yeah, I've
actually.
seen it before.
Okay. Just because most players grab waveform range lately. Like even before Adaptive Strike got nerfed, people were always getting waveform range, and I think they just kind of realized like, if I've got a waveform range, why not just lower my waveform cooldown as well?
Yeah. I used to also see people like farming with Adaptive Strike a lot, and I always questioned how good that actually was. Like I can understand spamming an AoE spell for farm, but like they were running clarities nonstop, and then just using Adaptive Strike to get through the camps a little bit quicker. And to me, it was always like, maybe. Like, maybe it's a Razor.
I'm going to get initiated on here.
Yep, and Slight Chains. This is a lot of damage. Stick Charge is not going to help him.
Yeah, this is important. It looked like the CDEC side was going to be able to take that Tier 1 mid tower for free, but they do get caught on the way out.
He was just caught in no man's land.
Yeah.
That is not somewhere where you can be.
Strange. It looked like they were going to try and pressure the Dire jungle again, but the other 4 teammates just kind of had other ideas.
Rubik has a stupid fast 8th lens, by the way.
Oh, yeah.
15 minutes in.
That's actually disgusting.
Yeah, he's very farmed. He's more farmed, quite a bit more farmed than the Tiny. Tiny's still going Blink. James finding bits and pieces here and there, spamming some waves out. Didn't get those last 2, unfortunately.
Well, that's the power you saw.
Oh, this time around, they got it on the Morphling, but he's not sitting at he's sitting close to fully morphed. Waveform through. They really want to kill him with the Shatter. One more touch. He gets the stick charges off now, and that is going to be a turnaround.
There was no hope.
No, that's unfortunate. Rubik gives up the death there. But that is very calculated by EHOME. You saw them giving farm to the Rubik as Ember Spirit was farming a camp nearby. Very calculated on their part to put farm on this Rubik, knowing that they are counting on him getting a big steal to make a team fight happen.
And it's not just that, actually. It's that he's effectively a Hurricane Pike against Razor. Razor goes to run somebody down, and if he has extra range, he can lift and toss him back without putting himself in as much danger. So you could argue that even prevents Razor from being as much of a problem right now. It might have been the reason that he died, too.
And again, check it out. We're seeing this valuing telekinesis over the arcane supremacy this game.
Which I think is fine. Like, I mean, the debuff amp that you're getting per arcane supremacy is very small, but the raw telekinesis upgrade gives you a lot more lift duration.
I don't think there are too many stuns that you're going to be stealing consistently this game either. Like, there's some nukes, but what's he going to get his hands on? There's like an avalanche.
Well, avalanche, yeah, and we still got to look that up in the last game.
That's true. Yeah, does it make it?
Does it make it enough to perma-stun?
Yeah. Can it prevent BKB at that stage? That would be the big question.
There could be like a level that it does have enough debuff amp. But Arcane Supremacy is a skill. You get like half of the value with just one skill point is the thing. It like doesn't scale that incredibly. So I'm slightly surprised we don't see more max telekinesis, but if you can reliably steal a damage nuke, it makes sense. If burst damage is really all you need. There's smoke coming. They spotted this one with their Observer Ward, though, which is okay. Yeah, their sentry's kind of close, but they definitely know it's coming to Morphling. He waveformed out, so they know. They instantly back, and they're going to be looking for somebody else. Tide could be able to defend this because he has his hood finished, but I don't think they want to fight. Morphling's staying around. I guess they're kind of open to this, it looks like. Razor doesn't have his BKB yet. It's on the way, though. They could definitely fight this if they get the item in time. Tide's sitting, waiting. Here comes the Ice Blast, looking for the Razor. It actually spots him now, I think.
He's got his BKB.
They see him on the Dire side.
Oh, and they're pincering. James also has his blink on this Tiny. He could catch somebody. Big toss back on the Wraith King if they want to save him. They're going to have to commit to this fight, but it's a hard place to do it. Can they actually get him back to the tower? This is great kiting from EHOME. Wraith King now underneath his tier 1. 1, 2, 3. Still sitting on top of everything. Razor stole some static link damage. The Guardian Angel comes in, but is it actually protecting the Wraith King enough? There's a lot of magical damage, and XM is just sitting right on top of him. Not even forced into the BKB. They find the Omni Knight in the sidelines. The Ice Blast not really connecting the way that they would hope. Ravage coming out. That's a double kill for your Grimstroke. And CDEC Just
A
a
great
great
fight.
timing, a whole bunch of items all coming online at the same time.
Yeah, and you can just see how strong CDEC feel to take that fight in the shadow of the Tier 1 tower. There was no thought of backing
Avatos, Phantom's Embrace, 430's dead.
off. Gosh.
That blink on Tiny actually, it's the only reason any of this happened. Because getting
Yeah.
a grab there was almost impossible. There was
If he didn't
very
toss
good.
him back,
Exactly,
none of
like-
that fight does not happen at all.
Especially that hero too. They toss him back. He's got his ultimate, so they kind of
They're like,
still played
oh,
around him.
maybe, like, yeah, maybe
Exactly.
we can save him.
But looking at what happened, if they just ditch him, it would have been actually so much better for the outcome. But without that blink, not only did they not get the Wraith King, but they also get that final Ember kill. Everything that CDEC wants, they get. And they were able to like extend their Ravage duration as much as they wanted to. Like
Yeah.
basically everything that they wanted to do, they could.
James killed like all 3 cores that fight, basically. He got the toss back, then he found the Omni in the trees, and then stayed in the trees, found one more on 430.
Man, this
That-
kid is
you
tearing
could,
it up.
You could not ask for more value from your Tiny at that stage of the game.
Wow. I mean, if CDEC make it to Shanghai, this kid has got to be the MVP.
All right,
Oh,
20-minute banner
no.
runes
Come
coming
on.
up. Oh, no, Wraith King. Doesn't have the ulti this time around, just a quick kill.
That's a huge death.
Oh, they
Why
are.
we question the Wraith King pick?
They're going for the Tide at top, but what can they actually do? I don't. This time around, we've seen these 3 heroes successfully kill Tide before. Now he's got a new toy. He's got the Hood of Defiance. He's not dying.
Yep. Like the percentage of his health that Purify can just erase is also much lower.
Yeah. Well, what's his strength gain actually? 3.5. It's pretty good. So just as he levels up,
Yeah,
he's
and
getting there.
you wonder if he's just going to go ahead and he did just complete the full pipe, and that really makes it tough for EHOME in these fights. I mean, where is their damage output going to come from? Even if Rubik manages to get a big steal.
Yeah.
Hey, Innocence.
Magic barriers against AA and Ember and all that stuff.
Yep.
It's huge.
All
Okay,
right.
transform. So
Yep.
the Ice Blast
Morphs
isn't
in.
as big
Now
of a
he's
deal.
and he's got the Flame Guard as well.
Oh, that's right. Good point. The perfect
Nope.
counter.
They got the lifts. They get some stuns over under the Grimstroke, bring him down, but they've got the Soulbind out. CDC aren't really all here just yet. Tidehunter's coming in from the side, and Ravage is only on cooldown for 1 more second. He sees everybody. Is he going to go for it? Doesn't want to
No
press the
spell.
button. Needs to be careful of the Rubik. The spell steal is on cooldown for now. He's just faking it out. They will lose the first life on the Wraith King. It's only 50 damage stolen. James coming in once again with the Avatos combination. They're trying with the Guardian Angel. Desperate to save NeverEnd. Can they actually do it? They won't be able to. Rubik, he wanted the spell steal, but he just can't risk coming back into this fight. 430 does jump out.
Good time to pipe.
Yeah, right as the Ice Blast lands, they pipe, and they walk away. This Wraith King was farming pretty nicely, but then death, death, death. Well, death, 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 death.
Yeah.
He's having a hard time. And Razor's more farmed than he is, which is not what we were expecting, right? Razor bought the BKB first. I really thought that he would be like 4th on net worth maybe, but Ember's still struggling, and Wraith King has been binned. as
No,
they
and
say.
he's gone a very greedy build. I mean, it's so much of that net worth that he's behind the Razor as things stand, and then you add the net worth that's tied up in that Midas that has not paid for itself. You know, Wraith King is not a force in these fights without another item.
I mean, all of the heroes he's fighting against range cores, who are already going to have a mobility advantage, basically. And on top of that, he's against a Tiny, who's going to be able to weave in and out better. And he doesn't have a Blink Dagger yet himself. He has to spend his gold on Midas, and then he has to buy a Radiance. And then over here on Razor, he just gets 4 points in Unstable Current, and he's doing, like, almost comparable damage as Radiance. He's dealing 40 damage per second compared to the, 60?
Well, we
Of
just
red,
saw the
so.
Blink Dagger come out on Rubik, and now he has Aether and Blink. So much of the EHOME hopes in these team fights are riding on the back of that Rubik. I just don't know if XinQ can deliver here.
Perfect spot for Razor.
They found the Grimstroke. Razor's in a good place, but he does get lifted. There's the toss. They're straight on top of NeverEnd. He's losing a lot of damage. Faith Beyond does have the Soulbind on top of him. He actually drags it over onto the Ember Spirit. 430 won't be able to escape because he's rooted. He's just going to get
No.
chewed down. All 3 cores dead. XM gets the triple. You called it, Purge. Great spot for the Razor.
That was so important, actually, that they moved and killed Ember first. Because if they kill the Omni, who is almost dead, then the ulti goes away, and then he jumps.
Yep.
And the Atos pickup was cool. At first, I doubted it, but with the Grimstroke link, you get
Yeah.
a double Atos.
I think he
So
got changed as well. The Morphling is also in there. It's just... Oh, man. Well,
To be fair, CDC has played this game just about
CDC
perfectly.
are looking... The more I look at this game as well, the more I question, like, one, is AA that good? Two, is AA actually a counter to Morphling? The new Morphling.
I think this Wraith King pick just makes the whole draft look a lot worse than
well,
it needed to be.
I think they picked it because they wanted something to lane with AA, right? They were like, oh yeah,
Yeah,
AA Wraith
but-
King, that's a combo, but
again,
Whatever.
it gives you 3 melee cores into a Razor. Like,
Yeah.
I don't know.
It feels like AA only counters it if you have like a stun against Morphling, and ideally a silence, and then you have the AA there.
I mean,
it's like the solution.
ah yes, 3 picks to counter 1 hero.
Yeah.
My
like,
favorite.
That's the problem. It's,
Yeah.
it's like you need, or you need a carry or offlaner that has a stun that can initiate before he strength morphs, and the AA is there.
And
But-
all of this has to happen before he hits level 20.
But think about it,
Yes.
right? If this Wraith King pick is like say a Queen of Pain, all right, for lack of a better example, and you send the Ember to the safe lane, at least you have the mid-game burst damage to threaten the Morphling in these fights.
yeah.
There's just no damage right now
Yeah.
on the side of EHOME.
Nope. James looking for it again. Alright, it's going to get the Avalanche stolen away by XinQ, but his Blink is on cooldown, so he can't really go and catch anything. On the other side, we do have Bounty Runes spawning. Innocence with the Glimmer Cape really, really wanted the Bounty. He's not going to get it, though, and he's just going to get run down. Faith Beyond inside of the base. There's the Link, the double shotgun, the Ravage, along with the Avatos combination. Well, CDEC are just... They're kicking him while they're down. NeverEnd. Oh, no, he gets rooted trying to TP back into the base. XM found him. He might be able to walk away from this, but now they've got no Wraith King in this fight. And XM is just gonna walk the Wraith King all the way back.
A little safe on the Razor, but that's fine. This team just wins a team fight without Razor.
Yep.
Just no big deal. But it's Grimstroke with the E-Blade, I guess.
Yep, Grimstroke Morphling.
5-0-6 Morphling. That's scary stuff. Do you ever play those games where you like look on the scoreboard and you're like, oh, the enemy carry has like...
that guy
Yeah,
has,
it's
that
like,
guy has
oh.
no deaths.
And I'm
yeah,
like,
yeah.
Yep.
this is
Everything
like,
I've done in this game until now is irrelevant.
and I'm like,
because
dude, I'm winning my lane. I'm doing great.
Yeah.
And you look up there. Ooh.
Like, uh-oh.
That's like one of those moments where you have to like, all right, guys, we need 4-man, smoke, gank the enemy carry. And if you don't
Yeah.
do that, it's like the game's out of control completely.
And it's not even the 0 deaths, it's the kills as well, right? You open up the
Both are
scoreboard
rough.
and you see that the enemy carry has kills, because that's just going to accelerate his item timings.
yeah,
as
and you
well.
know he hasn't been contested or
he's,
pressured.
he's like, okay, so he has the maximum amount of free farm. Whoever he's laning against has lost, and he has kills.
But we won our lane. Well,
yeah, maybe you won your lane, but he super won his. So
SNY now on Razor. This is a weird 3 set of items, kind of.
yeah, a lot of these are like you would either see the Atos or the SNY as like his first item, but it was actually the BKB that was the first item.
I actually love it here. That
It works.
It's
value.
think about when he's thinking the
Oh,
game's
hey,
gonna
James.
end.
Toss him back. It's got the Heavenly Grace on him, but Rubik's just
God.
gone.
James, calm down, man. You're just,
He's gonna look for more.
he's just bullying
Phantom's
them.
Embrace, yeah. Please. Oh wait, is that double toss?
Yes, it was.
Okay, cool.
It looked pretty strange,
Because
but
of the Grimstroke ult,
Yeah.
right?
yeah,
I
soul
guess so.
bind. It looked like he tossed the same unit twice. I don't know.
It might have, yeah.
Yeah, I guess that kind of makes sense.
So
Anyway.
don't give James Tiny?
I guess not.
I guess not, yeah.
Because he does seem, there's definitely a lot of moments in these games where it's like, we're looking at something else, and all of a sudden, like, some important hero gets tossed back. It's like a glimpse.
Yeah.
He's basically like a better version of Disruptor this game.
He's winning these off lanes as well, like, I gotta say. Like, but he was there only for a little bit. They put the pressure on, they got the first blood, etc., and then he leaves, and he's in the right place at the right time. He would have looked so godly if he'd gotten this Rubik
yeah.
kill here as well, right? Like,
Because it
that
was such a read,
that
too.
was such a hard read.
Yep.
Yeah, he knows exactly what
He's
EHOME
going for the
wants.
shrine. Yep.
Yeah. And now he's got the Force Staff. And it's not like it's not like anybody well, partially it's because they're winning their lanes so hard as well, right? That it makes all this space for the position for Tiny to look so godlike, because he's not taking away from anybody else on his team. He's creating all of this farm and stuff by himself.
But at the same time, that's we've talked about this. EHOME has tried to give space to their 4-position Rubik, counting on him to make the same kind of impact. And XinQ's a player we've seen some big games from, but not this one.
I just don't feel like Rubik's like the game changer here
EHOME.
sometimes. That's all.
Oh no,
Maybe
their
you're
smoke
right.
didn't even break. They just got baited. All right, NeverEnd walks in there with the Heavenly Grace, but immediately gets caught by the Static Link. They've got the Soulbind as well. Force that forward, Ravage, lift. Rubik, can you steal anything? Won't
gracious.
be able to. Wraith King's coming back. Rubik has bought
Got
back
the
into
courier
this
too.
game. 430. BKB'd in the back lines. They're looking for the Wraith King's second life, and they get it. Rubik, what's he stolen? Does get the Phantom, but no Wraith King, probably no fight. XM, still very healthy. Spots Innocence in the trees. He's just forced to TP out. Wraith King buys back, but by the time he gets over to the pit, this Roshan's already going to be dead.
No, and you have no Omni.
Razor's just running the whole team down the whole time. There's nothing they can do to stop it.
XinQ,
Atos hits.
come in, lift. Can they get the Roshan? Dire Rosh, who's got the Aegis? Also,
Oh, there you
XinQ
go.
gets the Aegis. He's making the big plays.
It's not going to matter.
Morphling's heavenly gracing himself, by the way. Check it out.
Oh,
XinQ,
that's cool.
is he going to get out of here? No, he's dead. All right.
Well, that was good.
Yeah, that's value. They are still down 23k gold, though.
Yeah, I
so-
mean, I don't know if they're going to come once in the first place. So maybe they just didn't matter, but yeah, Razor's got another 4,000 gold now.
Yep.
With the Eye of the Storm Strike. Have you tried Ags on Razor since it hit 2 people?
I have not. Is
It's
it
pretty.
good?
It felt really good
Yeah?
when I tried it
Really?
the other day. Maybe it was just a good Razor game because my opponents had no stuns, so
I
I was
kinda-
just running around like crazy. But
In my head, anyway, I had that Ags not bottom tier, but certainly
Situational.
not top tier.
I mean,
yeah.
the stats on them are excellent. Razors with
Right.
raw health and things are already great.
It feels a little
I don't
bit
know.
win more sometimes, though, right?
Well, Razor's just a win more hero.
Yeah.
That's
It
kinda
just
the
it just
issue.
really associates well with running people down, basically.
Okay,
And that's what
yeah.
Razor's good. He buys a Moon Shard though, which is very interesting.
Yeah,
He's
you-
got double
well,
damage.
you get the big
so-
drains
True.
off.
Is he even going to get any kills, though? So, Ember is dead.
He kills people too fast, to even sap that much damage. Like Wraith King, he's getting like 70 damage sometimes.
I just would like to point out. I mean, look at what Morph can do. I mean, he heavenly graces himself. He flame guards himself.
Yeah.
I mean, it is his ultimate.
I love the design of the ultimate, but it's so good.
Mega creeps. So, okay, is there a formula here for CDEC that's going to get exploited by anybody else, or is it not that kind of situation? They're just outdrafting and outplaying.
I just think that there was just no adjustment to the Razor pick.
Yeah.
I think you have to be able to pause at that point and say we cannot pick a third melee core into this Razor because no matter what lane he ends up in, he's going to dominate his lane, and then he's going to be in the situation where he can just chase people all over the board in these fights. And you lost the battle of the 4 positions